Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom to my Jacksonville family. House of Elkanah, what's up with y'all, man? Hopefully y'all are well. Byron Robinson, shalom, Mark. Shalom, shalom to the family. I'm going to give everybody a few more minutes to come on in. Few more minutes to come on in. Hey, shalom, Brother Joshua. Shabbat shalom to you and the brethren and your households. Got a lot to talk about, man. A lot to talk about, man. So I hope y'all ready. Hope y'all strapped in. I hope you ready to roll. It's been 7 days. A little more than 7 days since I checked in. Actually, no. I checked in on Monday. But I was outside and the audio was just bad. So I deleted that video. Only a couple of y'all might have saw it. I did like a quick little live Monday afternoon. But it didn't come out right. It stayed on Facebook, but the YouTube I deleted it. It was all bad. But nonetheless, we still here. We still here. Been a busy week. Busy week for your brother. So I haven't been able to really check in until the Shabbat. But all praise, honor, glory to the Most High. I made it, checked in. Oh, they solid. They solid usually. Water for checking in. All praise, honor, glory to the Most High. While Yahweh Shah. This is it. DSTM. Don't shoot the messenger. Episode 19. What are we at? 110? I was about to say 190. I'm tripping. 110. 110. We done made it. We done made it, man. All praises. Everybody good on the Sabbath? I'm coming in all right, man. Hit a 7 in the chat for me. If the sound is coming in okay, give me a 7 in the chat. Do that for your brother. Just want to make sure everything's solid before we get to rolling. 1-7. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Anybody else having problems? Namawa, shalom to you and the family. Sounds like I'm coming in okay here. All right. All praises. Good, good, good. But hey, and all praise to the Most High, man. They finally took the shackles off of the IQAhmath channel. So now you got a little window of opportunity to check out what's happening over there. But I'm probably not going to go live too much on that channel until probably after them strikes come down in July. Just because that I'm just experimenting. I didn't know that it was back active today. But now that I know, this will probably be one of the last times until maybe July that the IQAhmath channel is active. I gotta get them to get up off of some of them strikes before they delete the channel. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. All right. Shalak. Hey, shalom, Mike. Shalom to everybody. Shalom to everybody. All right, man. Y'all already know. Busy week. Busy week. A lot going on. Man. So most of which y'all know about, but you know me. I may repeat something that you know, but I'm always maybe throw a little another angle into something. Maybe add to what you already are aware of. Because I know that, these internet streets is running hot right now, especially my brothers out there putting in this work, going on their channels, man, putting out information, staying relevant with the current event situations. I've been hearing and seeing and knowing the brothers are getting a little bit more focused on those terms. which is good. But other than that, you know, this where I'm gonna get busy with. But why a moth, man? What's up, my brother? Shabbat shalom, man. To you and the fam. Hopefully you well. All right. Yeah. You see what my good brother said? You see what my good brother said? Who else follows suit? And don't lie. Don't lie either. Cause you know I'm a check. You see what he said? Let me wipe my feet. My good brother Shaq, man, the water. That's all I'm saying, man. Just be respectful in the house. You coming through, do your brother that solid. If some of y'all doing me dirty, I see it. I'm looking right now. Mm-hmm. Some of y'all are doing me dirty. Yeah, some of y'all doing me dirty. Look, I'm matching up who's watching and how many likes I'm getting. Some of y'all ain't doing me right, man. Come on now. Y'all been around this house long enough to know when you step into the house, messengers of the covenant, you come into the room of IQAhmath or IQAhmath, it's all the same. Wipe them feet, man. What's wrong with you? All right. All praises, man. All praises. All right, man. Good to see everybody back again for another episode. Don't shoot the messenger. Episode 110. We in here. We getting ready to get busy. All right, so let's open up. Um, you know what? Hold on. Let me share my screen and see where we're gonna go with this thing. Let's start. Uh, let's start here. So we understand and know regarding everything that's been happening with the mass shootings. Um, and I'm a kind of recap where I left off at. Or where I attempted on Monday. And dealing with violence in the earth and why we're seeing everything that's happening in the earth right now, especially the children of Israel being targeted out there. Okay. Um, let's look at Genesis 6 and 11. We're just gonna recap a little bit of what I was trying to get out on Monday, but like I said, the audio was terrible. I was outside. It was windy. I'm using the earpiece. It's breaking in and out. It was just a bad look. So I deleted it. But nonetheless, the scriptures let us know. Genesis 6 and 11, it says, the earth was also corrupt before the Most High, and the earth was filled with violence. Why is that relevant? Because, as we know, in Matthew the 24th chapter, and the disciples came to Yahushua and asked him this particular question. Matthew 24:3, it says, hold on. As he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? So everybody's looking for the end. The disciples was wondering, when is the end going to be? As the old saying goes, um, all good things must come to an end. Every great kingdom has an end, so forth and so on. The disciples knew and understood. The Roman rule, the afflictions and the oppressions that they were going under, the conversion of the Gentile minded Israelites, had to be fulfilled. Them going out and being uh, anointed with the Holy Spirit, going out and teaching the word, of repentance to the children of Israel, man, resurrecting the minds of our people. They said, man, once all that's done, the end of the world is going to come and Israel's going to be back on top. Because isn't that what he said in Acts? Uh, in Let me open up one more. See, when they're asking about the end of the world, everybody is looking for this end game, an end goal. Acts 1 and It is Shalakia. Let me look for that one. Here we go. Acts 1 and 6. It says, when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? So who is the kingdom for? Do we need to really go there? Do we really need to, be more clear? I mean, that's plain as hell. It's only the Christians that keep stumbling over there trying to drag everybody else in there with them. It's only the Christians that's always trying to reform, mutate this scripture and any other one to say that means everybody. I mean, the kingdom is not going to be restored again to Israel. I mean, you're saying again, that means that it was once always like that. It was once that way. And they were asking, when is it going to return like it's supposed to be? When it's as it's supposed to be, the other nations was not part of that. When Israel had control of the kingdoms, go through the times of David, Solomon, go through the times of King Asa, go into the times of Josiah, go into the times of Hezekiah. I mean, were the heathens sharing the kingdom with us, rulership and dominion? Were they, TT and ha ha and sipping tea and hanging out and saying, "Isn't this lovely how your God loves us as well, and we're all here to get?" They wasn't doing that. So clearly, the apostles is asking, when is this going to happen again? And then going back to Matthew 24 and verse 3, the disciples again are trying to figure out, when is this going to happen? The sign that I'm coming in the end of the world, man. We want the kingdom back for us. One of the things, as we should know, Yahweh gave a forthright clue and said, verse 37 of Matthew 24, it says, but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So, with that being understood, then we go back and we say, well, what was going on during the times of Noah? As we just got the reading in Genesis 6 and 11, where it said what? The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. So, looking at what's going on in the earth right now, we see mass corruption going on through not only politics, through the economic system. We see mass corruption going on with injustice. We see mass corruption going on with the poisoning of the food and the water and the air. We see mass corruption going on with stolen land. We see mass corruption going on with broken treaties and covenants. Mass corruption is going on, okay? It says the earth is filled with violence. So are we not in the midst of a war right now? Are there not multiple wars going on in the earth as we speak? We're going to see some more of them as we go on, in this lesson today. Do we not see violence just in the earth as it stands here in the Americas? When we had 3 mass shootings, 3 in a weekend. It wasn't just 2. It was 3 that weekend. Hold on. Let me let me turn these banners off. Sometimes I'd be a distraction. Okay, there we go. So we see 3 in a weekend, right? Back to back to back. You say, what is it? Copycats? What's going on? No, it's the way that the spirit of the earth is moving right now, being filled with violence, and there's going to be more. You see these little jakes, man, running around here to the jewelry store, smashing and grabbing, shooting it out in these weed shops with security, trying to come up. Everybody's desperate right now. Mothers are fighting in the lines right now over Infamil and baby formula. Have y'all seen that? Yeah, because of the baby formula shortages. I mean, it's women fighting in the stores because of the shortages. So there's violence going on all over the place. Okay. So all we need to do is just pay attention. Now, since the earth was filled with violence, right? So now we're understanding a little bit more of the spirit that we're entering in regards to the earth. Uh, Salaki, I want Genesis, Psalms. Mm. So before we get into the events of last week and this week, okay, let's just see what happens or why things like that happen. The wicked, this is Psalms 37 and 12. The wicked plotteth against the just and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. Do you see what that pretty much related to? That was that Buffalo shooting. That's what just happened last weekend. The wicked plotting against the just. Whether or not the children of Israel are acting justly, we were born to be that way. Whether or not our people are carrying themselves righteously, we were born to be that way. That's the type of spirit that the Most High put within us. We're in denial of that spirit. We're hiding from it. We're ignorant to it. But that's how the Most High made us. We're the just of the earth. We're the righteous of the earth. When we're doing right. If we're doing wicked, we're just as bad as a heathen. But see, when you see the wicked are plotting against us, I mean, you constantly see it. Last hired, first fired. You constantly see it with the unjust real estate laws. When it comes down to development of land, buying and having opportunities to buy homes. I showed y'all the article that couple up north that went to sell their house. They underbidded them. Then they got their white friend to come in and say that they were the owner of the house. The damn near price went up $600,000 just because she was white. That's plotting against the just, man. Constantly trying to kick us down, beat us down. You know that they said in order for the wealth gap to be closed or even between whites and blacks, man, it's going to take a damn near 200 years before we can catch up. You understand? That's constantly plotting against us. So, looking at Psalms 10, and then there's one thing I want to ask y'all: if you even seen that shooting in Buffalo? That thing was wild. Let me read this, and then I'm gonna ask y'all that. Okay, Psalms 10, and we're gonna read verse 1. It says, "Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble?" Some people may be sitting back saying, "Well, where was God then to kill all them people? Why did God allow that white man to go in there and kill them 10 black people?" Well, first of all, mercy is of the Lord. Second of all, there has to be a particular time of judgment as well. Here's the flip side, though. And as heartless as it may sound, as insensitive as it may sound, I don't mean to sound that way, but I have to speak the truth. And the reality is this: if them brothers and sisters understood and knew the laws of the Sabbath, no buying and selling on Saturday, ceasing from their labors, if they knew to stay home, if they knew to be online watching somebody teach it. I know it's brothers out there teaching in Buffalo. I know one of them brothers out there, and it's out there in out there in Buffalo with the brothers out there in HOI. I know them brothers be out there putting in their time and their labors. Not to say that everybody gonna have to, you just gonna happen to see them, but the bottom line is this: if they understood and knew them laws, man, them people wouldn't have been dead because they wouldn't have been out there violating the Sabbath. So now the question says, well, why sendest thou far off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? Well, do you know that breaking the law, that you break the Sabbath, is punishable by death? In many instances. Oh, what happened to the man that was out picking up sticks on the Sabbath? Did he get put to death? Okay. So that's just a balance of understanding of what happened. There's no way I'm standing on the side of saying, hey, they got what they deserve. I'm not saying that. Judgment is of the Lord. I don't know why the Most High uh, put those individuals to death. The only thing I can rationalize is say, well, why would the Most High hide himself in times of trouble? Maybe because his people was breaking the law. But justice still will be served. That white boy is he's gonna get what's coming to him. Best believe that. Verse 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. So, the so-called white man in his pride, he's persecuting the poor. He's doing a damn good job of it, man. He's maintained his boot on our neck for well over 400 years. Well over 400 years. You want to go back to the times of 1492 and prior to that, with his conquering of the indigenous tribes that was already here? Yeah, you're talking 600 years. So in his pride, he's persecuted the poor, man. He's maintained the prison industrial complex, making sure that our people stay locked up. He's maintained us being strung on dope. He's maintained us, begging and scrapping for pennies on the dollar. He's done everything that he can, man, persecuting us. Ask the black farmers. See if they've gotten any justice and they got any payoff from the settlements that they gotten for the unjust laws that they did in the lands that were stolen from them, and them getting you know persecuted against when it comes down to the farmers markets and them being able to sell off their goods and stuff like that. Them guys had over $1 billion settlement, still trying to wait to get paid. And mind you, the settlement was like damn near over 10 years ago. So let them be taking in devices that they've imagined. So yeah, when the Most High said, "Hey, reward them double," even as he had rewarded the man, the so-called white man, he don't have no idea what's coming down the pipeline to him. All the devices that he imagined, man. If you look at all of the different torture methods that he's done, the tarring and the feathering, and the man, what was the name of that one, UCL? The gunpowder in the rectum. I mean, we ain't even gonna go there. It's not Friday Night Lights. Let me calm down. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Some wild stuff, man. Esau done did to us. Okay. Verse 3, it says, "For the wicked boasteth of his heart desires, and blesses the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth." Verse 4, "The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not at all in his thoughts." See, that's so-called white man. He is not thinking about not thinking about God. He thinks he is God. He thinks that he's going to be able to maintain and establish his kingdom forever. He's not looking for any type of retribution when it comes down to fairness and justice or what have you. That's not even in his makeup. He's not thinking about that. Okay. Now, verse 5, it says, "His ways are always grievous." I mean, doesn't he always make life hard? Grievous, right? "Thy judgments are far above, out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them." So he doesn't think he's going to be judged. He has said in his heart, "I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity." His mouth is full of cursing and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. I mean, that's slow Biden in a nutshell. Mouth full of cursing, deceit, and fraud. Tongue is full of mischief and vanity. I mean, we've seen him. Okay. Now look at this. "He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He catch the poor when he draweth them into his net. He croucheth and humbleth himself that the poor may fall by his strong one." So that's him lying in wait, man. That dude rolled up. I don't know if y'all seen the video. Let me know if y'all seen the video. Let me check the chat. Hold on 1 second. Let me check the chat. Who's seen the video? Blasting the black $. Yeah, there you go. I mean, talking putting gunpowder and brothers, you know, backsides, man, and lighting it up. That's the type of stuff they was doing to our people. And we supposed to say, man, forget about that. That's the past. Forgive and forget. Did anybody see the video of that Buffalo shooting? Put a 7 in the chat if you've seen it. Because the Edomite man, in his prideful arrogance, he went live. He had the GoPro, camera on, driving, pulled up to the front of the pulled up to the to the market, right? If you didn't see it, it was unbelievable. It played out just like a video game. The Call of Duties and Modern Warfare. You understand? One of the brothers that sent me the video on Instagram. I hadn't seen it up until then. The cabman pulled up, jumped out. Soon as he got out, it was a sister. I'm assuming she was a sister. She got the car parked in the front, just loaded the groceries. She come around, boom, boom, dropped her immediately. Anybody else that was around her shoots up the outside of the outside windows. He goes inside. Anybody that's in front of him, blop, 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 they drop it. He go take cover inside of a in the aisleway, reloads, comes back. There's one cat on the ground right in front of him after he reloads. He shoots him again, making sure he's dead. He goes back around, shooting up some more. Then he turns, and it looked like it's an Edomite that's on the ground that works at the store. He's screaming, no, 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 no. And the dude says, oh, sorry. Turns and goes back shooting Jake. Told the Edomite sorry. And then went back shooting Jacob. For anybody that's familiar with them games, my sons play it. That's the only reason why I can relate or understand it. I played it with him before. The dude thought he was in a video game. That's just how it played out. First player video game, shooting up. And the dude was accurate. You could tell he'd been shooting before. He wasn't no rookie. He knew what he was doing. Because as soon as he popped out, boom, 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 hit the sister. She drops. Hit everybody else that was outside. Ran up inside. Anybody in front of him, they got laid out. Right? Then, like I said, he runs into an aisle. I would, you can't play it on YouTube. It's too graphic. But it was real though. If y'all ain't seen it, and maybe y'all don't want to see it, but that was one that would really make your eyebrows crunch down, man. Your fist clench, because it was really, really a open massacre, man. Open massacre. Okay. But let me. So we see here, just getting back to Psalm 10, right? He's lying away secretly. He's out there trying to persecute the poor. He's out there killing our people, man. Violence is in the earth. Let me get one more. Let me get one more precept. One more in Proverbs. And then we're gonna look at something else. Let me show you how devious the so-called white man is. See, Proverbs 10 and 18 says, he that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth the slander is a fool. What is it saying? He that hideth hatred with lying lips. You know what that means? If you lie and say that there's no hatred, or you'll be found a liar if you're saying that there's no hatred. You got the people out there saying, "Oh, we can't have hate in our hearts. We all need to love each other." That's not right. I don't believe that there's hate out there. Hate, love conquer. There are people out there who are conspiring with lies to cover up hatred. If you're in denial and saying, man, that race wars is coming down the pipeline, if you're in denial saying that, the white man it doesn't hate us, hasn't hated us, you're living in a fairy tale, that's the past, you are a liar, and you are continually compounding on to the to this whole narrative of this melting pot ideology that America has been promoting. Oh, we're all together, we're all in this melting pot together, man. America to the end, waving the flags. Let me get the hell out of here with that. We're not doing that. The Lord said that you are a fool, man, if you out here hiding hatred with lying lips. But that's what the white man does. I love everybody. I never said the N word. I mean, that's a lie already. In their thoughts, they said, man, we had an Edomite man out teaching a while back. And he swore up and down. I never said it. And he said, man, have you ever even thought about it? He said, yeah, maybe at home, but not in a racial manner. We may have said it after he, went out there saying he never said it. Then he says, oh, yeah, well, at home, we may have said it, but not in a hateful way. These white folks, man, they love rapping the rap lyrics, man, because it gives them liberty to say nigga. And you slow poke Negroes out there is cheering them on. So happy that that the damn white man knows your rap lyrics. I mean, there was a white woman, man, going viral because she knew some rap lyrics to some little young gangster rappers. And she looking like she's coming straight out of debutante ball, rapping the most ratchet lyrics, word for word, and went viral. Because you niggas love to see white people rapping your stuff. See, he that hideth hatred with lying lips and uttereth the slanders of fool. We can't be in denial at this point in time, man. We're looking at seeing what's playing out in these streets. We're looking at seeing what's playing out in the world. And if we sit back and be in denial, the most I said, you were a fool. So we can't be going into this thing thinking, no, it can't be. Yes, it can be, and it is. This is where we're at with it. All right, let's look at this. Let me blow this up. Okay, so check this out. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Let me. The damn dog is over here acting up. All right, my bad, y'all. I'm back. All right, so let's look at this PowerPoint, man. Now check this out. This is how you know the so-called white man is devious, man, and everything ain't what it seems in certain instances. Okay. Buffalo shooter's previous threat raises red flag questions. What is that telling us? He's already tried this before. He's already made threats that he was going to do this, and they knew about it. Look at this. Less than a year before he was accused of opening fire and killing 10 people in a racist attack in Buffalo, New York grocery store, 18-year-old Peyton Gendron was investigated for making a threatening statement at his high school. Oh, so they didn't have no hold on. Let's just finish this. New York has a quote red flag law designed to keep firearms away from people who could harm themselves or others, but Gendron was still able to legally buy an AR-15 style rifle. How's that happen? How's that happen? The quote general threat to Susquehanna Valley High School last June when he was 17 resulted in state police being called in a mental health evaluation at a hospital. New York Governor Kathy Hochul, there she goes again, Hochul, told Buffalo radio station WKSE FM that Gendron had talked about murder and suicide when a teacher asked about his plans after school ended, and it was quickly reported to, but the threat wasn't considered specific enough to do more. Oh, of course not. No request was made to remove any firearms from the suspect. New York State Police said Monday Gendron has pleaded not guilty and his attorney has declined to comment. So, 17, he says he's speaking about murder, suicide. He was going to shoot up the school. They take him out and say, hey, oh, he's just a frustrated white kid, Typical white boy, dealing with frustrations, spoiled. There's no threat here. He's not going to do that. White people have no these white teenagers don't have a history of shooting up schools. White teens don't have any history of having mental breakdowns. Oh, Columbine, that was just a happenstance. Oh, the elementary school over there in Massachusetts, that was just happenstance. Parkland, Florida, oh, that was just happenstance. Virginia Tech, oh, that was just happenstance. White people don't shoot up schools. Why would they? No, no, no. He's okay. He's just frustrated. You know, let him out. Oh, and if he wants to buy AR-15, sure, let him have it. He's not a threat. So they knew about this dude, man, and did nothing. Let him out. And don't be surprised. Listen, I'm gonna give my thoughts on it. This is not factual. This is when the so-called white man and his government officials and all of that, man, the provocateurs. I mean, look, haven't we already covered uh Operation Northwoods? How soon was it after that shooting that the Democrats was already running out talking about we need to talk about gun bans. We need to talk about we need to revisit that Second Amendment. I mean, isn't this always the case every election year? Either every 4 years or during the primaries, somehow shootings go up, and the Democrats is always the ones running around here saying, "We'll protect you. Elect us so that we can take these guns off the streets. Elect us so that we can protect you." Right now, the Democrats is in a bad position. They're getting ready to lose it all come November. They're pulling out all the stops. So would it be beyond comprehension to say, hey, who do we have on record right now that's willing to go out and do a shooting? Who do we have any of the wind up dolls, the mentally ill, the video game obsessed teens? Do we have any of them that can go out there? Oh yeah, we got a little guy up in I don't want to disrespect. I don't want to disrespect my brothers and sisters up there in the Buffalo area. I was getting ready to say we got somebody up there East Bubble F, but he lived 200 miles away from Buffalo, whatever part of upstate New York that is. Who knows what the name of the city is that he came from? So going along with the scenario, Democrats, government officials say, "Well, who do we? Oh, we did bust this 17-year-old last year. He's talking about murder, shooting up schools and everything else, and he's willing to die. Hey, can we wind him up? Can we pump him up? Tell him he'll be surrendered. We'll take him in, no problems. We won't shoot and kill him when we pull him up. He's gonna have to plead insanity. He'll do time, you know." And they say, "Yeah, wind him up and get him out there. Let him go over there and shoot up them niggas in the stores. Casualty of war." That's how some of this stuff works, man. Why? Because now they can go out and start promoting new agendas. Now they can have everybody run around and say, well, the Republicans ain't standing up saying nothing. The Democrats are the only ones saying that they're going to do something about this stuff. They've been saying that for years and don't nothing change. But it's just arrows in the quiver that they can use to keep persuading and getting people's opinions and votes to keep them in power, even if that means the loss of the lives of so-called Negroes and Hispanics. I mean, you see it, they're capitalizing on the deaths of the black babies and Hispanic babies with this abortion. They're celebrating it and mad that people are out there saying no more deaths of black and Hispanic babies, man. We're not doing abortions no more. And they got all the LGBTQ HIV plus community. They got them all wound up, riding out there, tripping, saying, no, no, death to the black babies, death to. We want to be able to kill them. Late term abortions, early abort, they don't care. They want them out of here. So look at that. Now we getting 10 of ours get laid down, And the Democrats come in and say, "Oh well, hey, if you elect us, we'll make sure this doesn't happen again." I think not. Look at it. This is another reason why you got to look at it from this. 911 dispatcher may be fired over hanging up on a Buffalo shooting caller, is an official said. Right now, the 911 operator is on leave, I think, without pay. I can't recall if they're getting paid or not paid. But here's the deal. Number one, so we just seen that the FBI and um who where we at? Hold on. We know that New York State and the officials they knew about this cat man a year ago and the threats that he made. Oh, these were just general threats. I mean, people just generally walk around talking about suicide and murder and killing up all kind of people. That's just general. They said, yeah, we knew about that. Oh well, and he let him buy a gun. It was all good. Now, when the shootings go down, soon as somebody calls in and says, "Hey, there's a shooting over here. White man's in here killing black people," 911 operator hung up on him. So, was this deliberate? Was this allowed? That's just a question. Hmm? Why else would they hang up when somebody's calling, admitting and saying that there is a mass shooting going on, and there's a white man in here with full blown fatigues and body armor, and he's shooting up black people as soon as he sees them? And the 911 operator hangs up. You tell me the wicked are not plotting against the righteous, against the just. Let's move on. So look at Kathy Hochul. There she goes. Where's her vax chain at? Oh, she's not wearing that no more, huh? That propaganda's over with. Oh, okay. And it's the Attorney General, Letitia James. Why they always get the most, you know, aggressive black woman picture? They do that. They did that with a Michelle Obama. They doing that with her. You know, white folks, man, love to degrade and get our sisters looking all crazy. But you know, what the hell with her too, because she locked into the politics in the game. But look at this. Buffalo shooting spurs Governor Hochul to call for crackdown on social media as quote instruments of evil. Why is this important? Because you know where this goes. Because he went live, now she's saying, "Oh, well, we got to start targeting all of the hate groups. We got to target all of them accounts that have been dubbed hateful, evil, hate speech, flagged for whatever, disinformation, and we got to isolate them and get rid of them." See, citing the Vile Online manifesto attributed to the Buffalo shooter, Governor Hochul on Sunday urged social media companies to crack down on hate speech, calling the sites instruments of evil. Well, you know where that's coming as far as we're concerned, right? You know, for the Israelites, you know the BIHs, isn't that what they call us? Or BHIs? They done made that whole little acronym now. I mean, who's listening to that foolishness? Black Hebrew Israelites. Yeah, you over there with the BHI doc. What? Stop trying to categorize us in your hashtag, society. None of us acknowledge a quote black Hebrew Israelite. Nobody does that. No God fearing, Bible following, law abiding brother or sister in the word of the Lord who's awoke to their nationality calls themselves black at all. But see, now that has been created, BHI, oh, now you can fall into those particular categories that can be considered, oh, the hate speech. We need to crack down on them. These are instruments of evil. These are the ones who's over there talking bad about, the Revelation 2 and 9, 3 and 9 people. These are the ones who's talking bad about the so-called white man. These are the ones who's talking bad about America. These are the ones who need to be shut down. These are the ones who's talking about the nations. These are the ones who keep talking about, how bad Christianity is. Oh, see. And once we get isolated, then they're going to look at a way to try to remove us. So they capitalize on all fronts See, even though this had nothing to do with us, had nothing to do with a free speech issue or anything, this is plain cut and dry. This was a hate crime. White man went out and murdered 10 of our people, and now they turn it into a damn issue of free speech. How's that work? I'm calling on the CEOs of all social media platforms to examine their policies and to be able to look me in the eye and tell me that everything is being done that they can to make sure that this information is not spread. What information? What he was saying, yeah, with his little, white supremacist manifesto. But that's going to translate to the information I'm spreading, the information you're spreading, the information other brothers are out there spreading regarding salvation, regarding the liberation of the so-called Black Hispanics and Native Americans to the laws of the Bible. All the various camps that's out there doing the works of the Lord. See, oh, that information can't spread no more. This perpetuates more hate. Well, what did we just read? He that hideth hatred with lying lips and uttereth the slanders a fool. So that's the next mission and where they're taking us. So, they always say never let a good crisis go to waste. So they're going to expand everything that they can in regards to how this whole thing plays out and how many things that they can, scoop in the net in order to restrict and get rid of anybody and anything that they can that's standing in their way. So she told CNN State of the Union, speaking on a day after the 18-year-old Peyton Gendron, who was white, killed 10 in an attack targeting black people. They have to identify when information like this, the second it hits the platform, needs to be taken down because this is spreading like wildfire. These theories that result in the radicalization of a young person sitting in their house is deeply scary and is something that has to be dealt with, added Hochul, the Democrat. Of course. Of course. So we see what the next motivation is. It wasn't 24 hours, man. The bodies wasn't even cold yet before they jumped out talking about, oh, we gotta, we gotta come for the guns. Gun restriction on deck. You know what I mean? Uh Always looking to politicize something. Hold Always looking to politicize something, man. White man is something else. So let's move on. And this is one of the problems. See, this is in Buffalo. This is pop culture. Some of y'all don't even know what's happening. Don't even know who this dude is. It's okay. But I'm trying to help y'all out a little bit. The same weekend, I want to say the same day, that evening. If it wasn't that Saturday night, this concert happened. It was Sunday night. This guy's right here is a rapper. His name is Freddie Gibbs. That night, on the hours after a white man kills 10 of us, he gets involved in some rap beef or whatever the hell happened. I can't even say it was rap beef. All I know is this Jay gets jumped by 10 other niggas, and I'm going to call them what they are. And they try to snatch his chain. I mean, see, hold on. Let me get a scripture for that. It's unbelievable, man. You talking hours after. Like I said, I can't recall it. It was the same weekend. That's a fact. It's the same weekend. Now, whether or not it was that Saturday night, I want to say that it was, or it could have been Sunday. Doesn't matter. The fact that it was the same weekend, man. Same weekend in Buffalo. 10 of your people died at the hand of a white man. Racist, disgusting maggot, man. Went out there and killed our people. And you niggas is out there jumping another brother, trying to snatch his chain and right back into your ignorant ways, man. Why didn't you go out there and go do that to the so-called white man? Why don't you go run out there and go terrorize him? Oh, no. It's too easy to victimize your own, man. Look at this. Jeremiah 4:22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children. Stupid children. That's what sottish means. Foolish. They have not known me. They don't even stop to recognize. Don't even want to mourn and say, "Damn, that was jacked up, man. We got to protest. We got to get out here in these streets. We got to put up vigils. We got to do something, man. We got to organize. Let's sit back and figure out what's going on. Is Buffalo being targeted, man? Is somebody else coming? Don't even think to do that. What do they do? They go right back acting like niggas. Sodom's children, they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. You see that? That's exactly what was going on over there. This is why the Most High said, man, 2/3 of my people got to go. 2/3 of Israel has to be put to death. Because when something like that, something tragic like that happens, man, and the first thing that our people do is, as part of activism, is you go run right out there, man, and go get involved in some rap beef. That wasn't the time to sit back and say, man, hey, man, we're not going to, even if you did have problems with him or he had problems with you, whatever. That wasn't the time that you say, you know what, hey, let that go today, man. Let that go today. We done lost 10 of our own, man, to the so-called white man, a real damn enemy. And you still looking at another brother as your enemy at that particular point in time, man, you need to get slaughtered, man. 2/3 got to go. I mean, this is ridiculous. Buffalo, New York. Freddie Gibbs showed up to his concert in Buffalo, New York with a swollen eye after he was allegedly jumped and robbed by associates of his former collaborator, Benny the Butcher, at a local restaurant. Now TMZ has obtained footage of the brawl, which took place at Dinosaur Barbecue. In the clip, several men jump on top of Gangster Gibbs wearing a green shirt before he's tossed around like a rag doll. Gibbs eventually pops back up in an attempt to ward off his attackers, but they keep coming. Eventually, the crowd disperses as a woman yells to them to stop. And these are two little tweets. I just saw Freddie Gibbs get beat up and his chain took. Excuse me. I just saw Freddie Gibbs get beat up and his chain took while I was eating in Buffalo, New York. Chain off video. Freddie Gibbs running in the security. See this? And then here's his response. Gibbs allegedly addressed the brawl in a text message leaked online that read, 20 nigs deep. This all they did. Couldn't even take my ish. Tell them ends. Come harder next time. Although it wasn't confirmed if they were actually from the Grammy Award. I mean, see, this is the frustration that we have to deal with our people, man. This is the ignorance of the children of Israel. Now look at this. Same weekend. 2 killed, 7 wounded in a mass shooting outside of Chicago. How come they ain't talking about that? Or maybe because it was niggas killing niggas. Doesn't matter. That doesn't get publicized, man. The Democrats ain't running over there trying to, wave a flag. Slow Biden. He hopped on the first thing smoking over there to get a little photo op in Buffalo. You understand what I'm saying? Why he didn't kiss the next thing smoking over there to Chicago? I mean, they damn near having mass shootings every damn weekend over there. Oh, it can't be politicized because it was blacks killing blacks. Oh, okay. See, 2 killed, 7 wounded in a mass shooting outside of Chicago. A suspect is in custody after 2 people were killed and 7 others wounded in a mass shooting in downtown Chicago late Thursday night. Police said it happened around 10:40 p.m. outside of McDonald's, a few blocks away from the city's Magnificent Mile shopping district. One of the eateries' windows was shattered during the shooting. There's one thing about Chicago, man. You Negroes out there in Chicago love McDonald's. I'll tell you that, man. You know where R. Kelly used to, pick up his victims at? Hanging out at McDonald's. Jake's is always hanging around McDonald's, man. I seen another video, man. Some little young cats, man, and they I guess doing their little gang thing, man. They found some of their quote unquote ops in the McDonald's, and they pressed them and slapped up one little dude, man, and it was all a mess. And then after that, there was a shooting that went down. I said, man, Jake's love hanging out at McDonald's. But here they go. Okay. Here was another one. This was Chicago, right? Here's another one that let me switch this up. This is another one that people didn't even get hip to. This happened last weekend as well. This happened, I think, on Sunday out here in L.A. Nobody really picked up on this. It's a shooting at Grand Central Market. This is downtown L.A. Check this out.
Are you looking for a new fence or gate for your home or property? Type in your address and drop the red pin.
Oh,
yeah, Rick and Court, this has certainly been a tragic weekend with gun violence coast to coast. Here in downtown Los Angeles, a deadly shooting took place just outside of a hotspot called Grand Central Market. The place was packed at the time. This happened in broad daylight. And at last word, the shooter was still on the run. Chaos and confusion marred a sunny afternoon in downtown Los Angeles as people ran for cover amid gunshots near a popular spot called Grand Central Market.
Where did he get shot, do you know?
The food court was packed at the time with families, children, couples, all desperate for a quick and safe escape. Nancy Tom was working at the market.
Wave of people, like it was a lot of people just coming downstairs and looking for places to hide. So all the vendors started running and we were hiding in the closets, and some of the vendors' stuff fell on the floor and we didn't know what to do. And everybody was just saying, there's a shooter, there's a shooter. I have my 2 kids and my daughter was crying. We were hiding inside the closet.
Police converged on the scene quickly.
So that was another one that happened, right? I'm not gonna play the whole video, but that was another one that happened. So, yeah, Buffalo, downtown LA, you had Chicago, you had another one over there in Orange County. Let me see if I think I got that one. Hold on. Now here's something else. We'll get to the other one in Orange County in a minute. But check this out though. Shout out to Bayan Shakal. He sent me this one. It says white supremacist in Michigan convicted of training for U.S. race war. See, while the Negro and Hispanic man is too busy, training how to cook up meth and training how to, pour up your lean and mix up your pills. While you're too busy out here training how to fool people on the internet and scam your way into success, and you damn devils man's out here training how to kill you, kill me, kill your families, kill your children. They're out there in the backwoods of Michigan, man, suited and booted, training to shoot, man. And what are people doing? Fighting each other in barbecue restaurants, trying to snatch a chain, trying to go viral over some straight folly. And I believe that this is I think they just got convicted, but this was a case that was kind of pending from a couple years ago. So here it is: 3 members of a national white supremacist group called the Base have pleaded guilty in Michigan to conspiring to train for a civil disorder, marking the first convictions of the felony in the state's history. Founded in 2018, the Base, which is the English translation of Al Qaeda, is a loose neo-Nazi organization that openly advocates for violence against the U.S. and claims to be training for a, quote, race war to establish white rule across the country, including Michigan's predominantly white Upper Peninsula. Justin Watkins, Thomas Denton, and Tristan Webb are each charged in Tuscola County with the following felonies: 1 count of gang membership, 1 count of larceny in a building, 1 count of possession of a firearm, and 1 count of conspiring to train with firearms for a civil disorder in August 2021. They were accused of entering 2 former Michigan Department of Corrections sites in Cairo, which they assessed as future training grounds for hate camps, according to prosecutors. So this is what he's doing. Again, the wicked plotteth against the just, man. They out here really training. They out here getting ready. And again, what are people doing, man? You just seen the one cat, man. He just went live. Lone Wolf Mission. Started and kicked it off. Let me and look at how the backward laws of New York is. What the heck? Oh no. Let me and I'm flashing back to this up to that first part of Buffalo, right? When I said, but just think about the scenario. They knew about him, they let him loose, they called 911, they hang up, let him continue doing what he's doing, right? Now, once he gets busted, this is his charge. Hold on, let me see where it's at. Watch this. Let me see where it's at. Look at this. Gendron was indicted on a charge of first degree murder on Thursday. No, that's not what I want. Hold on. Oh, here we go. The defendant continues to remain. Now, first of all, he pled not guilty. Did you hear that? Not guilty. You're on camera. Murdered 10 people. Injured another 13. And who knows? If those people don't come out, you add them to the murder list. Now, he doesn't have a bail. But check this out. Gendron was indicted on a charge of first degree murder Thursday. In a statement provided to Newsweek, Erie County District Attorney John J. Flynn said proceedings in the case will continue to June 9th. The defendant continues to remain held without bail. At this time, the defendant remains charged with one count of murder in the first degree in Buffalo City Court, Flynn said. Did you read that right? Or did I read that right? How many counts? Let me look at y'all in the face with this. One count. One count. Did you read that right? Oh, okay. 10 dead, 13 injured, and gets charged with one count of murder. Now, this is why New York law is all twisted up. In other words, what they do in New York is they say, well, if there was 5 people shot, 4 people dead, it was only one incident. So all 10 murders fall under the one count. Dude could have killed 30 people. It would have still been considered one count of murder, not 10 counts. But that just is demeaning to the lives of the people who were lost, man. It's like they're not even counted. It's a one size fit all, policy over there in New York, man. But you know what that really means. I mean, just charge him for one. We'll lump everything else in. Don't be surprised if he pleads insanity and a dude disappears, man. I mean, all these guys, man, they get, they surrender themselves. No problem. I mean, where's Dylan Roof at? He's hanging out. Last I did hear, though, one Jake did get his hands on him and put the beats on him. Dylan Roof shot up the church down there in the Carolinas. How about the Boston bomber? The other little European Edomite, man, blew up the Boston Marathon. All those guys, man, is all living good. They all chilling, man. See, he gonna do the same thing. Can you imagine though? Only one count. No harm, no foul. And what you think gonna happen to these guys, man? They're gonna tell them, hey, man, you guys out there training like some rookies. We're gonna give you the game when you get locked up in here. We're gonna set you up with some other Woods and white supremacists here in jail. The type of charges that they dealing with, they ain't dealing with no, one count possession of a firearm, one count of conspiring to train with firearms for a civil disorder. These guys, man, gonna do minimal time, gonna get out, but they're gonna come in, get some real game, come back out, and get right back to it. See, look at this. Shout out to Elkanah, my Jacksonville family, man. Same weekend, or maybe during the week. I don't know when this actually happened. Woman says man used racist language before Arlington gas station attack scene on video. Now I would play the video, but for time's sake, I got a lot of other stuff to cover. This was captured on the phone. It's a sister. They're in a convenience store of a gas station. Edomite behind her. He's woofing, talking crazy. Tries to put his stuff on the counter ahead of hers. She pushes his stuff to the side, like, nah, you're not gonna do that. Hey man, the dude just starts wailing on her like it was like she was a man. Wailing on her like she's a man, firing on her, And then you see this cat in the back over here. He looked like a Jake. He finally comes up after the dude, lays his last punch and walks out. Wasn't he like he went, run to the sister's rescue, didn't run behind the man and go, lump up the Edomite as he walked out. This is a bad time right now for Israel, man. Jakes is under attack. And what we doing attacking each other? Jacksonville, Florida. A woman told News4Jax a man used racist language before he attacked her on Monday inside an Arlington gas station. So this was just this past Monday. Right after the Buffalo shooting, right after the two shootings in LA. The one in LA, the other in Orange County. Now the next day, Esau's out here feeling themselves. What happened? The attack that happened on Monday at a gas station on University Boulevard was recorded from store surveillance video and shared with News4Jax by the 23-year-old victim, Rami McCoy, who was black. McCoy says she walked into a gas station near her home and was followed by an older white man who was already involved in an argument with someone outside. McCoy said the man was ranting and raving and using racist language, and at one point the man walked toward the counter where McCoy was standing, and she asked him to back up. That's when the man said he had a gun in his car. McCoy said so. They had a whole interaction. He's all up on top of her talking crazy, talking about you people and blah 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 and nigga this. She telling him back up. He pushes the issue, puts his, slides her stuff to the side on the counter, puts his stuff on the thing. She moves his stuff out the way, like, you're not finna cut me. He goes crazy, man. Starts firing on the sister. And then the news team, they went to get an interview with the damn owners of the gas station and the clerks, and they declined the interview. Why would you not want to speak up on behalf of this black woman? Why would you not want to, make sure that this Edomite is caught and convicted? The gas station says no comment. Guarantee you it wasn't our people that was behind that damn counter and that register that watched and allowed this to go on. See, our people's gonna learn the hard way, man. The nations don't love us. Everybody's not looking out to make sure your well-being is kept in order. It's us against the world, man. In Israel, we're gonna have to, really buckle down, support and back each other up, because at the end of the day, you ain't gonna be able to depend on these nations to do it. That's clear. Let's move on. Yeah, this is the one. Brave churchgoers hogtied a gunman with electrical cords and seized his two weapons after he killed one person and wounded 5 others when he opened fire inside the Orange County Presbyterian Church. Now, this was supposedly another quote-unquote we have to kind of classify this as a racial attack as well. Because you see the conflict between China and Taiwan, right? This particular church was Taiwanese. Now they saying that the guy who went into the church and shot up was just Asian man. They don't say he was Thai. They don't say he was Chinese, but we know that them two are having issues with each other, right? So again, heated hatred with lying lips and utter the slanders of food. It's going on all over the place. Worshippers at an Orange County church hogtied a mass shooter after he went on a rampage there. One person was killed, while at least 5 others were also wounded at the Presbyterian Church in Laguna Woods, California, where the majority of the residents are seniors. Police say they were involved. Those involved showed exceptional heroism and bravery in detaining the suspect. The gunman was said to be an Asian male in the 60s. It's not clear what or if any connection he has to the church. 6 people were struck in total by the gunfire, one of whom suffered fatal wounds and died at the scene. Victims were adults and have been revealed to be 4 men aged 66, 75, 82, 92, and 1 woman age 86. The shooting occurred at a lunch reception honoring a former pastor of the largely Taiwanese congregation. So that's what kind of leads me to say, well, who's got beef with with Taiwan? Why would another Asian man, unless this was just some family dispute? Maybe he was Taiwanese as well. Maybe it was some issue going on. Who knows if it was personal or not? Doesn't matter. Violence and corruption covering the earth. That's the point. The spirit is out. Here's another one. Dallas police arrest a suspect in an attack on 3 women of Korean descent. So this is all within the last week. All within the last week, right? Whether it's racially motivated or not, violence is covering the earth. Let's move on. Oh, here's another one. 1 dead, 3 injured in a shooting at Osceola County Market. Another mass shooting in Florida. Old Dixie Highway. In a market. So somebody hit the panic button and said, man, hey, send the maniacs out, man. Let them loose. We know the Most High is in control of all. But we do see that shootings in public places are becoming more frequent just within the last 7 to 10 days. So 1 dead, 3 injured at the market, right? Same way and similar to the one that we just got to see in downtown LA. Even though that one's just, obviously a lot smaller. But this is what's been happening. All right. Let's move on. So, lastly, but brothers and sisters, let me leave y'all with the scripture too. Let me give y'all this one. Let's read Sirach 5 and 15. Sirach 5 and 15 says, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small matter. So ignorance is not bliss, man. Not knowing is not the right answer. Chris Rock did a good little video. Good little joke about niggas love not to know. I can't remember whatever, comedy special it was. But it was like, Jason take pride in always being able to say, I don't know. Yes, brother, what time it is? I don't know. What's your nationality? I don't know. I mean, what'd you make last week? I don't know. The easy route is to say, I don't know. And hopefully that, somebody will leave you alone. But the Lord said, don't be ignorant of anything in a great matter or small, man. We got to stay vigilant. We got to stay aware. You got to stay on top of what's going on in the earth. You got to make sure you're watching your surroundings. You got to be careful out there because there's a lot of madness that's going on, man. People are hitting the brinks of their frustrations, be it because of economics, because of the famine, because of the, the things that's going on, man. People's going desperate times call for desperate measures, in other words. And now we're seeing the heightened up, spirit that's happening to where people are out there looking to do more damage because of their inability to suppress their hatred for you. Genesis 27:41, the white man said, the days of my mourning are past, and I will slay my brother Jacob. You got to look at it like this, man. Everybody in Rome and Greece wasn't warriors out there killing and slaughtering Israel. Yes, civilians. You had some who just wanted to be left alone, those who just wanted to live their lives, so those who didn't want to stay out of matters of affair, but they were complicit and they didn't do anything to stop the oppression and the murder and the killing of our people. Same thing you see what's going on now. Those are the ones you say, oh man, not all white folks ain't like that. Yeah, but they ain't trying to stop to do nothing either, though. And don't think because they out there talking about Black Lives Matter and they marching that they love you. As you can see, that whole thing is the lid done got blown off on BLM. As much as myself, excuse me, and others have been exposing the lie of what that place is, or that organization was, it's all blown off the hinges now. You see Patrice Cullors, $6 million mansion, that ain't got blown up. They done went hit her tax records. Excuse me. They done hit her tax records. And she's got payments that's gone to her baby daddy, her brother. I mean, we're talking in the hundreds of thousands. We're talking collectively millions of dollars was getting funneled to her friends, family, baby daddy, property, you know, all on the pretenses of Black Lives Matter. And because you think some white folks, man, went over there and joined in on their compromised hashtag movements, that they're supposed to be for us. No, we see what's really going on, man. So you can't be ignorant, man. Don't be out there moving around blind. Make sure you're being careful out there and you're watching and seeing what's going on in the earth, because the spirit is out. Spirit of violence, spirit of corruption, spirit of death, mayhem, uproars. It's all out there. And pray for the protection and the shielding of the Lord to watch over all my brothers and sisters. But y'all got to do your part, man. Don't be ignorant out there, because it's going down for right now. This is just the beginning, though. Let's move on. Now we get to the meat. A little bit more meat, as everybody knows. I think I did DSTM earlier this year regarding the monkeypox thing, and I'm gonna be careful about this one too, because it's just breaking, and it can easily be, looked at as, what's he trying to promote? Wait, hold on, we're gonna flag that. No, I'm reading this article. This is from ABC, I believe. First monkeypox case in the U.S. this year reported in Massachusetts. Oh, so next plague is on deck. I don't know how many times I've quoted it. I even showed the video. It was a PBS, I think it was PBS interview with Bill Gates and his then wife, Melinda. And they both sat there and laughed and giggled, talking about how the next plague was really going to get everybody's attention. This was after the DVOC 91. So they was already plotting and planning and knowing and preparing for the next thing, right? Because DVOC 91 did its job, but it didn't complete the mission. That was like phase 1. And there's more phases to go. Remember, he's plotting and his agenda is lined up. By 2030, he wants to complete and all utter control of everything. So less than 8 years, he's going to try to make it happen. And that's his plan. We know the Most High intervenes at any particular point in time to shut it down. Even the Most High said that time could be, the time of deliverance can be cut short for the elect's sake. Lest no flesh be saved. So we don't know how much time is really on the Most High's spiritual clock. But here we see. And a possible case has been identified in New York. So monkeypox is here. This is the next plague, the next avenue of a pandemic, right? So why is this interesting? Because let's look at this. It says the Massachusetts resident has tested positive for monkeypox. Health officials confirmed Wednesday, making it the first case of the rare virus detected in the United States this year. According to a release from the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, the patient is an adult male who recently traveled to Canada. The department completed initial testing Tuesday and was confirmed by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And listen to this. Quote, the case poses no risk to the public and the individual is hospitalized and in good condition. Oh, isn't that great? Well, that's comforting. Okay, I'm glad they made that known. MDPH stated in the press release, DPH is working closely with the CDC, relevant local boards of health, and the patient health care providers to identify individuals who may have been in contact with the patient while he was infectious. So he was in Canada, come to Massachusetts, he's positive for the pox. But no worries. It's not a risk to the public, and he's in good condition at home. Right? No threat, no worry. Let me check this chat real quick. Let me check this chat real quick. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Let me check this chat. I ain't checked in with y'all in a hot second. um, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you remember that now, Moa. So you know where I'm going with this. So check this out, right? So white man says, "Hey, it's no threat. It's no problem. Don't worry about it. Okay, he's in good condition. It's not really nothing to be concerned." But hold on, the WHO reportedly convening an emergency meeting on monkeypox. I thought there was no threat. I thought it's okay. What's the emergency for? What's a threat? Uh oh. Somebody's not being honest. Somebody's not telling the truth. Be it far from the so-called white man to tell the truth, man. Be it far from him to try to quell down anybody's nervous energy. No. Relax. There's only one person, and he's fine. There's no threat to the public. Oh, but meanwhile, the World Health Organization is saying we need an emergency meeting. We're calling everybody to the heads of the table around the world. Cases are exploding in the UK and Europe. And meanwhile, over here in America, as usual, oh, it's no big deal. Relax. So look at this. The World Health Organization is reportedly convening an emergency meeting on the alarming spread. Alarming spread. What did they say? The case poses no risk to the public. An alarming spread. Who do you believe? Alarming spread of monkeypox around the world, including a possible case in the Big Apple. The United Nations Health Authority is bringing together leading experts on the rare disease as a number of new countries announced their first confirmed cases Friday, according to the Telegraph. The main concern is how the virus, usually concentrated in West Africa, may be spreading. The UK paper noted that many of the new cases among the people who had not recently traveled. Oh, the WHO will be examining why clusters include gay or bisexual men. Oh. So the sodomites is getting hit. Could that be judgment of the Lord? Is that another reason why people should repent and leave off of that lifestyle? Because here come the judgment of the Most High. The Most High said, "Oh, you want to play down the Hershey Highway, huh? You like, interacting with the same sex? Okay, well, I got a little plague that's gonna come hit you. Keep playing if you want to." So look and see where that's headed. But here we seeing one instance over here in Massachusetts. They talking about, oh, it's not a big threat. Don't worry about it. He's at home. I mean, he's in the hospital, recovering well. It's not a threat to the public. World Health Organization saying, damn that. It's spreading like crazy over here in the UK and in Europe. We need an emergency meeting. And when they step in, it's the World Health Organization. That means they're going to dictate policy for the world. So whatever they say is going to filter down. The United Nations is already involved. That means the CDC is going to come in next. When the CDC starts laying down mandates and laying down instructions on what needs to be done and how to prevent it and what we need to do, and we've already got a new potion bubbling on the stove that we're going to need to start poking you up with. You already know what time it is. It's phase 2. Look, CDC raises alarm over the pox outbreak after 6 Americans were potentially exposed to the virus after sharing a flight with a UK patient. Nearly 24 potential cases of rare virus are found in Europe. So now the CDC is saying raise the alarm. Why are they over there in Massachusetts talking about it's no big deal? And we know what happened earlier this year. There's Namawa was leading up to, and in which I covered and said, hey, remember I talked about 12 monkeys. I talked about the virus spread and how that all happened. And it's just ironic how all of a sudden this same type of scenario, or even with contagion, where the monkey had been into some food and it got into the food and the woman ate it over there in China and brought it back over it. I mean, the same thing plays out. But y'all remember that? The lab monkeys that came from West Africa, truck crashed, hundreds of monkeys escaped. They rounded them all back up. They said about 3 of them was missing. They finally got them, and some female had got bit, and they was talking about how she needed to get some treatment and she had to get poked up for recovery. But try to downplay it and say, "Oh no, no big deal." Remember that? If you don't, here's a headline from January. And if you go on my history of the DSTM, just see the one I did about one of them says monkeypox in big capitals and something else. But yes, did cover this. So should we be tripping that we see in these particular type of headlines? But check this out. How ironic. How ironic. You reading it? How ironic that this thing already got approved before this quote unquote outbreak. FDA approved smallpox drug, also believed to be able to treat, oh, you guessed it, monkeypox, as global cases of the rare virus grow in the US and Europe. How long does it take for the FDA to approve a drug? Do we need to look that up? Let's just look real quick. Let's see here. How about this? We're just going to read right here. It usually takes about 10 years for a drug to be developed and approved for prescription. Many people like to take the newest medicine as soon as possible as it's proven to work. However, even after a drug has been successful in a phase 3 trial, it still may take 6 to 12 months before the drug is approved for prescription. Did you read? It usually takes 10 years for a drug to be developed and then approved. And you can learn more on the Food and Drug Administration website. Something to think about. Something to chew on. So when this happens, that was an accident, huh? Oh, okay. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Oh, there's no risk to the public. Go ahead and spread. He's in good condition. Nobody's talking about it in Canada, where he came from. right? Well, here they are. The CDC is talking about 6 Americans who were potentially exposed to a virus with somebody who came from the UK. The CDC is knowing about them. Why isn't the CDC talking about this cat that came from Canada? And who else was on that flight? Mm, okay. All right. So y'all can put two and two together, man. My brothers and sisters in the chat, y'all are very smart. So let's look at this again. FDA approves a smallpox drug, also believed to be able to treat monkeypox as global cases of the rare virus grow in the US and Europe. So they've had this drug prepared and ready to go, huh? Already got approval. 10 years in the making, huh? The FDA is giving a green light to the IV version of TPOX, a smallpox drug that can be used to treat monkeypox. Many smallpox drugs are used to treat the rare virus as there are no therapeutics. Very interesting. Oh, you remember this? Yo, I covered this too last year. Pennsylvania. A lot going on in Pennsylvania. Monkeys crashing. Oh, and then they find vials labeled with, quote, smallpox discovered in Pennsylvania lab freezer. You see the date? November 18, 2021. Yeah, we covered this last year. So vials of smallpox is being found in Pennsylvania. And remember, there's only like 3 labs in the world that had access to this smallpox. And it wasn't, I don't believe the one in Pennsylvania was supposed to have it. Somehow they got it. And then all of a sudden they got the drug ready to go, outbreak kicking in, ready for the next form of mandate, ready for the next form of lockdown, or else, you know, the deviousness, man, that we're dealing with our oppressor is something else. Y'all can see it for yourself. Put two and two together, man. Do your own research. Find out and see, is this a plot against the just? Is this conspiracy or is this fact? I mean, what's going on? I'm just putting out the information. Don't shoot the messenger. But you see here what's going on. All right, let me move on. Let's see what's happening in the war. NATO prepares to add Finland and Sweden to its northern defenses. We talked about that last week. Finland and Sweden said to join NATO. I showed y'all how in close proximity it was to Russia. In Russia's response, Russia told them, man, you making a big mistake. Don't do that. And I don't think I put it in here, but I think they could. So, Russia's move, they cut off the gas exports to Finland. Right? Now they were saying that Finland isn't completely solely dependent upon Russian gas, but it is going to affect them, right? So they've cut off the gas. Let's just blow this up real quick. Because of their allegiances, they had business arrangements with Finland and Sweden. They were supplying the gas for them. They had a non-bipartisan treaty where it was like, no problems. We're not dealing with that, right? Russia cuts off gas exports to Finland in a symbolic move. So now that is going to show that now Finland is a complete enemy towards Russia. The NATO has said, we're going to back you up on all fronts. Matter of fact, let's put some nukes and stuff down there. Look at this. This is just yesterday. I just got distracted. 9 shot, 2 fatally in the outrageous act of violence outside Chicago McDonald's. Is that the same one? I think that's the same one. Yeah, that was the one from I thought that was something different. I'm about to say another one out of McDonald's. Okay. But you see here, Russia cuts off the gas exports to Finland in a symbolic move. So, boom, let's move on. So, let's look at this. NATO members rallied around Finland and Sweden on Sunday after they announced plans to join the alliance, marking another dramatic change in Europe's security architecture triggered by Russia's war in Ukraine. Gathering in Berlin over the weekend, most NATO foreign ministers embraced the bloc's northern enlargement, a process that requires unanimity among the 30 allies. The one country to voice concerns was Turkey, with Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu unhappy that Finland and particularly Sweden have had relations with Kurdish militants who have been active in eastern Turkey. Oops, my bad. Sweden is sending a team of diplomats to Ankara for talks this week, and NATO Security General Jens Stoltenberg said he expects to work through the last minute wrinkles in the enlargement of the plan. So it's official. Finland and Sweden now chose their side. They've turned their back on Russia. They're aligning themselves with the Great Whore. They've jumped into bed. They're with the with NATO. They're fully on board with the beast system, right? And now Russia now is in a new occupied enemy. And just so that, in case y'all don't remember, I think I showed y'all the map last week. I showed y'all the map last week. Just how close proximity they are. Let's see, I think I had a good one. See, y'all can see right here. Here's Russia. Finland is right here. Sweden is right here. This now is going to become NATO occupied territory, which obviously have beef with Russia. This is only going to make NATO even in closer proximity to being able to bomb Russia when this World War III kicks off. All right. This is why it's strategic. This is why Russia's mad. But the only thing Russia can do right now, turn off the gas. But they were saying, I think Finland utilizes maybe 10% of their gas comes from Russia. So they had some little backup plans. They figured they'll be all right until the end of the year. Then they're going to have to come beg the beast, for help after that. All right, let's move on. NATO assures Ukraine open-ended military support against Russia. So NATO was all in. They're saying they're not even hiding that it's a proxy war right now. They're saying we're all in. Whatever you need, it's open-ended Ukraine. You got it from us. We just added 2 more nation states that's going to be able to get your back. Don't you like that, man? We 30 deep. Don't worry about it. We're gonna slay the giant Putin in Russia. NATO on Sunday pledged an open-ended military support for Ukraine as Finland hailed its historic bid to join the alliance, and Sweden's ruling party said it backed up a joint membership application. The promise came after Finland jettisoned decades of military non-alignment, redrawing the balance of power in Europe, and angering the Kremlin. On the ground in Ukraine, Russia announced airstrikes in the east and in Lviv in the west, as Western intelligence predicted its campaign in eastern Ukraine would stall amid heavy losses and fierce resistance. So, NATO ain't backing down. Look at what they say down here. Ukraine can win this war. Ukrainians are bravely defending their homeland, NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg added. They're going to continually keep funding them, giving them weapons, backing them up, having troops down there, fighting with them, right? So this war ain't going nowhere. As much as our people sitting back praying for Ukraine, praying for the end of the war, praying for peace, it ain't going nowhere, man. They're going all the way to the end. So Russia says they're going to up the ante then. They're not going nuke yet, but now they're going lasers. Russia uses a new generation of laser weapons in the Ukraine. See, that's why I was saying the more that Russia's trying to be as diplomatic as they can in dealing with this war, trying to minimize casualties as far as destroying and blowing up. If they wanted to, man, they could really just go start lighting stuff up, man, and really start lighting them Ukrainians up with mass rockets and tactical nukes or whatever they wanted to do. But they're trying to cut off supply areas. They're trying to cut off the ports. They're trying to strategically back them down and make them surrender and say, look, you're running out of options. Don't make us go there. But now, since NATO says you got our open-ended support, don't worry about it. Russia says, okay, well, let's step up the game a little bit. We're going to pull out the lasers now. So now they're using lasers, and these lasers is instrumental in taking out drones, disrupting radar systems, frying up uh, frying up the weapon systems on some of these destroyer ships or whatnot. So they're just moving on to the next level of warfare as far as weaponry is concerned. Sooner or later, they're going to step all the way up and say, you know what, let's just get the nukes out. We feel an existential threat. They're closing in on us. They're at every inch of our border. They're lying over here talking about they're not involved and they're not fighting, but we're catching U.S. troops. We're killed troops from the U.K. and France. They're all backing down on us, and they said that was one of the articles of war for them on when and why they were using nukes. They said that they felt that there was an existential threat, that something was getting too close to them that would endanger the welfare of quote unquote Mother Russia. They would use nukes. And it looks like they're just backing all the way down, So let's move on. Bordering war, Russia deploys nuke missiles to the border with Finland in chilling threat over the country's NATO bid. You see that? So Russia said, okay, we're going to go ahead on and send some nukes down to our borders. Since you're trying to get close, NATO, Finland, you just made your decision that you want to jump on board? Okay. It says the Russian despot had warned Finland and Sweden that joining the Western Alliance would be a mistake, but they have so far snubbed his grumbles. After being given the cold shoulder by the two notoriously neutral nations, he seems to be restoring to desperate measures to save face. Moscow has made it clear they will suffer the consequences of joining NATO, boasting they could wipe out Finland in 10 seconds, which is true. Putin parroted the veiled hypersonic missile threats in a tense phone call with Finland, and now it appears to be putting his money where his mouth is. More nuke talk. Bordering on the war, Russia deploys nuke missiles to the border. They're putting nukes on their borders. That's why, when we seen that map, here's Finland. They're lining up the nukes all down here now. So how long do you think it would take for them to smash them? Not long. And that would only mean that NATO now has to join in fully. All right. Let's move on. Look at this. Slow Biden. White House will rush $40 billion. $40 billion. Never mind the fact that there's formula shortages over here. Gas is out of control. There's bare shelves. Forget about the supply chain that's jacked up. Forget about the diesel gas and it's hurting the truckers. Forget all of that, man. Send more money to Ukraine. And mind you, Slow Biden asked for $33 billion. They gave 40. Economy's crashing. People 401ks and retirement funds is in jeopardy. Pensions are being seized. Property taxes is going up. Insurance companies are going belly over in regards to homes down there in Florida. And they finding $40 billion to go send to the Ukraine. Again, he asked for 33. They gave him 40. And they approved it while he was over there in Korea, where he was over there jacked up and called the president of South Korea the wrong damn name, called him I think the current president name is Soon, and the old president's name was Moon. This damn idiot said, "I want to thank President Moon for." I mean, President Soon. Another slow Biden, fumble of the ball, man. And they said they were going to rush the bill over to him in Korea so he can sign it, and they can send the money over there to Ukraine ASAP. White House will rush $40 billion Ukraine bill to Korea after a clear Senate so Biden can sign it on the road and give weapons and aid to desperate fighters being battered by Russian artillery. Wait a minute. How many times have we been reading about how the Ukrainians are fighting back and they're pushing back the Russians, and the Russians are on the retreat and they're capturing the Russians, and the Russians, troops are apologizing on camera and saying that they wish they wasn't fighting the war, and how Putin is decrepit and he's losing his mind and all that. I mean, how many times have we heard that? I mean, y'all seen the particular articles I've been covering? Everything would lead to believe that the Ukrainians are winning. But here we're seeing a whole nother line. Desperate fighters are being battered by Russian artillery. So who's really winning? Why do they keep having to send all this money? Weapons, tanks, javelin. Remember last week, I just covered the story. They said that they were running out of weapons to send over there to them. See, that's when you know that everything we've been told ain't really what's happening with that war over there, and who's winning and who's losing. Because if they was winning, you wouldn't have to send all this money. You wouldn't be signing up more countries on NATO saying, "Oh, we might have to bolster up our defenses, man." So, just something to think about, okay? Now, another war on the horizon. We've been chronicling and watching this one too. Deadly serious. U.S. quietly urging Taiwan to follow Ukraine playbook for countering in China. So, you see who's controlling the situation. Good old America. You see who's quarterbacking all these wars. I mean, look, you seen the Pope even came out. The Pope even came out and said that NATO was responsible for starting the war. Didn't he say that? Now we're sitting back seeing them saying, okay, for the next war, we're going to need the Taiwanese people to follow the Ukraine playbook, which means what? Engage in war with China. And don't worry, they'll be able to help fund, they'll provide weapons, they'll provide money and funding. So here's the next war. And they said it's deadly serious. And who's behind it? Who's the puppet master? The beast. The gray whore. America. Babylon the Great. U.S. officials are pushing their Taiwanese counterparts with new urgency to look to Ukraine's success in fending off Russian forces as a blueprint for countering a Chinese attack, former and current U.S. officials tell Politico. Now, did you just see that? Ukraine's success in fending off Russian forces. Didn't we just read here? They're desperate and they're being battered by Russian artillery. This is the confusion. This is the wag the dog. This is the madness that's going on. Here they're talking about the Ukrainians are desperate. They're getting battered. They need more weapons. They need more money. Now the U.S. is over here telling the Taiwanese, oh no, they're winning. You guys can do the same thing. Excuse me. You guys can do the same thing. Just follow the blueprint. so they can get battered and slumped over with Chinese artillery. Okay. Reading on, it says, but there is little doubt that China is also learning from Russia's botched invasion as it looks to reunify Taiwan with the mainland, with or without force. Experts would say Beijing is likely adjusting its plans for the island to reflect and improve on Russia's failures. We just get the. Did it say that they were failing? I don't think so. Look at this. There is no question that the perceived reality of the possibility of a Chinese invasion of Taiwan is greater than it was 3 months ago, said Aaron Friedberg, a professor of politics and international affairs at Princeton University. But it's not a trivial challenge for the Chinese, even as strong as they've become. So, Esau again, stirring up the pot, looking to start and engage and quarterback and puppeteer their way into another war, looking for complete control of the world. Look at this. So China warns U.S. a dangerous situation is forming over Taiwan. So China is aware, and they're telling the U.S. stay out of it. You know, Esau runs the world. That's why when you see Job 9:24, the earth is in control, is in the hands of the wicked, and you wonder why. And when the Israelites and we all say, man, the white man is the wicked. He's the one controlling the earth. When you start seeing things like this happen and playing out in political scenarios, then it makes more sense. When Esau can come in and he can dictate policy all throughout the world, when he can go over here and manipulate nations and pushing them into wars, and then say, don't worry about it, I got your back. What are you supposed to think? See, China knew who to direct it to. They didn't tell Taiwan. They said, hey, you better stop listening to America, man. White man's going to get you jacked up. You know, when you was young and your parents told you, you keep following your friends going to get your ass whipped. And you got to think about it and say, yeah, guys, I'm not going to be going over there with y'all. You know, my dad or my mom is going to whip my butt. Just to thread along. China's telling Taiwan the same thing. Hey, you keep following the white man and see what happens. China's top diplomat again warned the U.S. over its increased support for Taiwan, showing the island democracy remains a major sticking point between the world's biggest economies as Beijing sent more military aircraft toward the island. If the U.S. side insists on playing the Taiwan card and goes further and further down the wrong road, it will certainly lead to a dangerous situation. Yang Jiechi, Beijing's top diplomat, said on the phone call with the National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. So, you know, this is really more important too, because if and when that war goes on, you can really forget about the supply chain. You can really forget about imports and exports. You can really forget about any type of prosperity that America had been loving. I mean, just look at how many things say made in Taiwan, made in China, that that America receives as imports. It's already short right now just off of the fact of from the pandemic. Now, once those two go to war, it's a wrap. You already see the food supply and the breadbasket of the world and what's happening with the grain and the wheat and everything else, how that's affecting worldwide global food shortages. And that's just because of Russia and Ukraine. Now you look at all the other things that come from China, Taiwan, they get into war. That's really going to affect all livelihood of what we got. You talking about shortages? We ain't seen nothing yet. And America's saying, yes, do it. Do it. China saying, man, this is dangerous. Fall back, Esau. Esau said, man, I'm in control of the damn earth. I'm the devil. I want death. I want murder. I want mayhem. I want full control. I want destruction. I want disease, plague, famine. I want it all. And that's what he's going for. Just so everybody is kind of aware of what goes on. And best believe, China has weapons with EMP capability. Russia does. I believe North Korea does. America has it. Okay. You heard about EMPs, electromagnetic pulse weapons. This is when they talk about the grid. satellite grids and all that controlling the power of everything that we're utilizing. The grid goes out, back to the Stone Ages. And there's weapons out there that can be utilized that can destroy the grid and can knock out all power. You know, EMP weapons could wipe out electric grid, impacting cars, water, and cell phones. Imagine your car won't start, no water comes out of your faucet, you can't use your cell phone. It's a very real threat. That's exactly what an electromagnetic pulse weapon can do. An EMP attack could happen with or without nuclear weapons. Here in Georgia, there are plenty of potential targets, including Hartsfield Jackson International Airport, the Port of Savannah, and Plant Vogtle. One day you could wake up and your lights won't turn on. You can't log into your bank account. And this is a quote saying, "I ain't worked this hard for nothing for someone to zap my money," said Isla Thomas, who lives in Forest Park. It sounds like a plot of a sci-fi movie, but it could actually happen. We'd be like cave people, Thomas said. And this is part of this article. There was a few people that they were interviewing. Our people didn't even know what a damn EMP was, man. They don't even know that this stuff exists. And that's the shame. Because not really understanding and knowing the type of capabilities and the weaponry that our enemies have and our dependency upon these things can all be taken out in a minute. That's why it's so interesting, man, that the so-called white man feels as though he has the power to go to war with Yahweh Shai and the angels. It don't take nothing but a blizzard, a hard storm, or whatever, overheated circuitry. Power out, his power is done. That's why when you can see these EMP attacks, if one was to happen, that's why we keep hearing about these cyber attacks. Oh, cyber attack here, the cyber polygon. We talked about those things for the last 6 to 8 months. Here we see it. If this was to go down, boom. Life as you know it, we know it, would be over with. So y'all seen what I gave y'all a little jewel last weekend on things to, maybe help you out in the event that something like that happened. They're already talking about power grids going down and prepare for blackouts this week. I mean, this summer. Power outages all over the country. And you can imagine it because look, over in the tri-state area, they're getting record high temperatures right now. They're in the hundreds. It ain't even the summer yet. It was in the hundreds in the Midwest like a couple weeks ago. It's in the hundreds like in Texas now. And ironically, here in California, where we're expecting heat like that, it's like in the 60s. It's all kind of madness going on. So you already know what time it is when it comes down to power, backup power, things of that nature. He doesn't tell us these things just because it's a FYI type of situation. He tells us because he knows what time it is. He knows what he's doing, right? Uh-oh. I'm glad I checked in. Let's pray for our sister Renaya and her son. I'll keep you in the prayers for sure, my sister. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate. All right. Everybody in the chat, man, y'all find it in your heart and your prayers, man. Pray for our sister and our household. It's a tough time for her to be going through right now. All right. All right. I just want to check back in. Let me double back over here and finish this up. All right. So we see what's happening right here. Okay. Here's an example of what we're talking about. Vast swath of U.S. is at risk of summer blackouts, regulator warns. So they're already telling you, expect blackouts coming around this summer. Rolling blackouts. You may be, your power off for so many hours during the day. Might come back on at night. I just went. I tried to go to the store yesterday. Sabbath repping in the evening, and it was like a whole block powered out. I'm like, damn, what happened? They're like, oh, we don't know. The power's out right now. I said, oh, okay. But it already hit me to say that It's par for the course. That's what they're doing. Okay. So here's the headlines and letting it be known. A vast swath of the U.S. is at risk of summer blackouts. Okay. So prepare yourselves. Whether you, it's like this, man. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. That's how I look at it, and many others do. All right. Not saying that you're gonna go all out and any items that you got to preparedness or safety or whatever the case may be is going to be your end all be all. That's not your salvation. Your salvation is in the Lord, man. We're supposed to build up our treasures in heaven, and that's where the Most High wants us to put our trust in. At the same time, He gave us wisdom. He gave us resources. He gave us a mind and an understanding to know what we're going to need to do when you foresee the evil, when you foresee a danger. You got to prepare yourself. So take it for what it's worth, but know that they're already acknowledging there's going to be blackouts, power outages coming this summer. So, prepare accordingly, whatever that means for you. All right. Look at this. Excruciating to this working class California county is the most expensive gas in the nation. Average LA County gas price hits a record high, over $6 a gallon. Yes, it's still going on, and it's actually getting worse. And slow Biden can find $40 billion to go send it to Ukraine. California can raise the state gas taxes, and they're talking about raising gas taxes throughout the country. I thought he was supposed to tap into them reserves and supposed to ease the pain at the pump. Didn't he? Didn't we cover that? Didn't he say, "Oh, I'm pulling out millions of barrels all the way up until August"? Can you tell any difference in the prices? I sure can't. Here we go again. Didn't I say by the time the summer hits and they talking about, oh, well, maybe we'll give you $400 gas cards? That proposal that Governor Gruesome put out there that ain't been talked about since. Where's that at? By that time, gas is gonna be down at $7, and there is a particular this particular county, gas is $7. I forgot the name of the county, but I just took the headline. Right, gas well over $6 out here, man. Oh boy, here they go. You know I'm always find some folly going on in this community. But look where they was at though. Pro LGBTQ HIV group to host a conference for kids at a church in Florida, and a drag show was included. Oh, they got the entertainment lined up too, man. Drag show at the church. They're having a conference for the kids to convert, to coerce, to seduce them into joining the club. A pro LGBTQ organization is slated to host a conference for kids ages 12 to 18 at the Naples United Church of Christ in Florida on Saturday. How dare they have the nerve to say that this particular activity means that you are united in Christ? Boy. GLSEN Collier is hosting the inaugural Youth Pride Conference in Naples, Florida for all local LGBTQ ages 12 to 18. A post about the event states, this one-day conference created by and for LGBTQ youth will provide students with the opportunity to engage in LGBTQ related issues facing them today while empowering them to be confident in all their identities. The event will include a drag show. Can you imagine? That's what the churches are doing. This is what the churches are promoting now. It's no different than when you'd find a local Naples Pride or Fort Myers Pride or Cape Coral Pride event that families are at all the time. I take my 3 and 4-year-old sons to these because they're fun and entertaining. Daniel Selvey Shaw said, according to the Naples Daily News, They're making it sound like a drag show that is this big taboo show. See, let me show y'all something. Hold on. Watch this.
Now it's time for one of my favorite segments,
I discovered the 8 immortal kings of Samaria lived a total of 241.
Now it's time for one of my favorite segments, Lefties Losing It. And joining me this week is Director of Communications at the Institute of Public Affairs, Evan Mulholland. Evan, let's start with several lefties losing it in unison because a lefty protester at a lefty protest who was masked and he had a deep, she had a deep voice and a masculine physique, but they were accidentally misgendered by a journalist and all hell broke loose.
You are harassing me. Are you not nothing? I'm a woman being followed by a man who's not a turtle.
Did you see? This is the confusion, and this is the straight madness that these maniacs is out here doing. The dude's got on a mask covering the back of his hat and head up to his nose, hat pulled down. He says he's a woman and the dude misgendered him. Hold on.
You are harassing me. Are you not nothing? I'm a woman being followed by a man who's not a turtle. You are fired.
I thought you were a dude. Oh, my bad.
It says it right on my seat.
Look, whoa. Now look at this. Now they got sleeve patches to identify who they are, as if this is militaristic, like this is a rank. You know what I'm saying? This is their patch. This is their badge of honor. This shows you, who and where they are. He said, "You're harassing me. I'm a woman." He's calling me a man. He said, "Man, I thought you was a dude." And he said, "Look at my patch. And look at the damn bug-eyed, black cat." I mean, what is this madness that these people are sick, man? This let you know there's a spirit, man, and a disease on these people. He points to a patch as if that's some badge of honor or acceptable in real society. Like, man, who knows what that's about? But it's showing you, man, they lining up in armies, man. That's like they little militaristic patch. Let me let him go one more time.
Oh, my
I'm
bad.
done.
It says it right on my seat.
I didn't know that. Sorry, sir. Ma'am, I mean. Ma'am.
Get the out of here! Get the out of here!
Ma'am, I'm sorry. No. Back it up. No.
Look at these.
No, get away from her. Get away from her. She said it. We're the ones.
Intentionally.
He just misgendered this woman, sir.
This is what they want to recruit the kids into. This is what they're trying to recruit the world into. Misgender. Don't recognize the patch. Don't recognize what they're doing. I mean, now they want to invade the churches. They want drag shows included. You see what's going on. Let's go. Now look at this. Exclusive. Read the troubling story of how trans activists, quote, groomed. This is how you know, man. Anybody talking about it's a choice. Oh, you was born. I mean, not that it's a choice. You was born this way. You're just being a hater. You can't, understand somebody's plight and how bad it is. Listen, we just got through seeing that there are activists who are out here grooming, recruiting, seducing the youth into these particular lifestyles and abomination clubs. So look, read the troubling story of how trans activist groomed girl 17 before she was helped to transition into a man after a 1-hour gender clinic consultation. So they gave her an hour, told him, "Hey, you know what? You really should be a man. Join the trans club, man. It's cracking out here for us. We're about to take over everything. You better get in or get gone." And at 21, she wants to be female again. This is just another story that I brought out. I showed y'all a couple of other ones where females that was getting seduced and getting caught up and getting brainwashed into thinking, oh, because of their body dysmorphia, because of the problems that they were having with, appearance or anxiety or depression and things like that, where they're transforming it into saying it's about your sexuality, it's really about your gender. It's really once you transition, you're going to be happy again. Everything's going to be great. So you're too skinny. Oh, that's because you want to be. You're really a boy. Boys don't have to worry about how skinny they are and all of that. Just go ahead and transition. See, they prey on those type of things. Then slide them on the antidepressant drugs. Then they slide them on the damn hormonal drugs. Constantly get them hanging around the same environmental people who keep flooding them with more poisonous thoughts. And before you know it, they turned out. Now, after 4 years, she wants to become female again. She like, damn, they got me. See, Tanya became transgender at the age of 18 after consulting a gender clinic. She checked herself into a mental hospital 3 years later amid suicide fears. Did you hear that? The damn spirits came on her, man, when she wanted to go commit suicide after allowing that spirit on her. And you see these maniacs is running around here talking about, no, that's enough. You misgendered. Get away. That's not okay. With their army, with their sodomite patches on. After years of hormone treatment, Tanya now struggles to be the girl she was. Tanya's mom says she was groomed and kidnapped by the transgender community. Transgender activists urged Tanya to ditch her parents, helped pay for her surgery. Tanya deeply regrets the decision after being manipulated by the trans community. Look at this. A troubled teenage girl who was provided drugs to transition into a man after a hour-long consultation at a gender clinic is now fighting to reclaim her adult life as a woman. Tanya, not a real name, changed genders at the age of 18 while dealing with bipolar, autism, anxiety, and depression. Hello? She had all these particular issues. All these spirits was on her. Bipolar, autism, anxiety, depression. And the trannies said, well, it's really about your sexuality, honey. You really want to be a boy, don't you? And we can get you a consultation. We'll pay for the surgery, man. We'll get you up out of that. Don't worry. Now, age 21, the still young woman struggles with suicidal thoughts every day as she works to reverse the transition process. Can you imagine? This is what's happening, though. Look at this. American girls are now reaching puberty as young as 6. 6. And I'm not even going to go there with, that doctrine out there about the rape. Not necessarily the rape doctrine, but, brothers say that the scripture in Sirach, she reached the fruit of her age. She's eligible to be married. All that. And no, we're not going to tackle that. Everybody has kind of been there, done that. But you'd have a hard time standing behind that when you're seeing a headline like this and say, can you justify making a 6-year-old your wife? As much as we can condemn the Muslims and Islam, and they talk about, Muhammad's wife was 6. She was promised to him. I think he finally consummated with her at 11, I think. I can't remember. Don't quote me on it, but it's there. But the bigger thing is this is a scientific transition that's happening. This is chemically induced. This transformation isn't natural. American girls are now reaching puberty as young as 6 in the phenomenon science think may be linked to childhood obesity, chemicals in plastic, and stress. Yeah, the real thing is chemicals in the plastics, BPA, all that stuff. We talked about that. The age of many young girls in America going through puberty has dropped in recent years, and experts cannot nail down the cause. One potential reason is the prevalence of obesity among American children, with 1 in 5 being at an unhealthy weight. So they're going to say it's because they're overweight, huh? Or maybe it's because of the chemicals in the food in the plastics, right? Why is a 6-year-old stressed? What stress are they going through? Come on. We know that they grasping at straws with that. Some also believe the chemicals that help strengthen the durability of plastic could also be triggers. Stress is long believed to be a trigger for early puberty as well, and researchers note that early puberties increased across the world during the pandemic. Imagine that. So do your research about the BPAs and the rest of the gender hormone, traits that happen with the plastics and whatnot. You know, this is all madness that's happening, and we're seeing it live and in effect. Let's move on. China's internet censors try a new trick revealing users' locations. You notice China's always the blueprint when it comes down to lockdown, surveillance, and everything else that happens in the earth. What are they doing to make sure that their people stay in order and subservient? Well, America takes note, UK takes note, Europe takes note. Now China's saying, well, guess what? Now that they're on lockdown over there in Shanghai and other provinces, now they're out here combing through everybody's internet access. So can you imagine what would happen to the trolls? Can you imagine to the ones who's out there doing all the folly with the fake accounts and the bogusness and everything else that's going on? And all of a sudden now the government says, well, we're going to start revealing your locations so they can come get you, or for your ops to come get you when publicly you're located. That's going to end all that trolling and all that folly that goes on. See, for years, China's censors have relied on a trusted toolkit control the country's internet. They have deleted posts, suspended accounts, blocked keywords, arrested the most outspoken. Now they're trying a new trick, displaying social media users' locations beneath their posts. They're trying to make sure, man, you stay in line or else we're going to come get you. Authorities say the location tags, which are displayed automatically, will help unearth overseas disinformation campaigns intended to destabilize China. In practice, they have offered a new fuel for pitched online battles that increasingly links Chinese citizen locations with their national loyalty. See, this is all going to, this is how it all falls in line with the social credit scores, your your carbon footprint, the digital IDs, your all of that stuff is linking this everybody into this particular matrix, this metaverse. It's all part of the global surveillance grid that's locked into the internet. So China's just opening up, saying everything is already there. They're just going to start utilizing it. They ain't acting like they don't know where everybody is. They check IP addresses and they monitoring everybody at every minute. Now they're just saying, we'll just publicize it and post it. But see, it says they're trying to make sure who's maintaining national loyalty. Well, who's pledging their allegiance to the beast? Who's locked into the beast system? Who's accepting of their markings? Chinese people posting from overseas and even from provinces deemed insufficiently patriotic. Oh, so if you're not on board, you're going to get exposed. And now easily targeted by nationalist influencers who fans harass them and report their accounts. So you see what happens, man. They're turning the people against each other. And that's just the next thing that they're going to be using. So don't be surprised if they open that up here. I know y'all been hearing about the UFOs, or excuse the IFOs, the chariots of the Lord, that's been popping up. The U.S. is becoming more keen on coming clean with the chariots of the Most High, man. Years ago, everybody was, oh, the Israelites are crazy. You talking about UFOs in the Bible, and what are you talking about? Now all of a sudden it's like, oops, actually, Esau got to come clean and say, yeah, we've been monitoring, we've been watching them for a long time now. Look at it. Private First Class DeVell Ingram was the first to spot the UFO. He said he was scared ishless. Well, of course. When you see a chariot of the Lord, man, he don't even know he got a connection with them UFOs there. That's why he's the first one to see it. His spirit locked in and said, man, something's up. Oh, Oh, do y'all see that? Had to be revealed to an Israelite first. Look at this. Keep your mouth shut. Army veterans recount how they were told to stay quiet after an encounter with alien craft as Congress holds its first hearings into the U.S. into UFOs in that half a century. I know this is kind of small, so I'm reading it for y'all. 3 former U.S. cavalrymen have come forward claiming they saw a UFO while serving in the Sinai Desert on the Israel-Egypt border. Sinai Desert, huh? Where else have we seen that at? The Sinai Desert, huh? Let's see. You ain't gonna give it to me that way, huh? It's in Exodus. Okay. Yeah, this is it. And let's just get straight to the point. So this is after the Exodus, after we left Egypt, on our way to the Sinai Peninsula, right? It says, and they took Exodus 13, we're going to read 20 down to 22. And they took their journey from Succoth and encamped in Etham, in the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud, went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. So the Most High said he's never taken away during the time of the Exodus. And these pillars of clouds, the chariots of the Lord have always and are going to always be there. That was our lead. So the Lord led us out by a chariot, giving us direction through our wilderness. And you say, well, what about, we've done plenty of lessons in regards to the chariots. Just look on the YouTube channel. I'm sure other brothers have done the same. I'm going to just read one other precept, Psalm 104:3. It says, who laid the beams of his chariots, his chambers in the waters meaning the heavens, who maketh the clouds his chariot. Why is the clouds his chariot? Well, if you're looking at it from a metaphorical standpoint, as a similitude, a cloud being utilized as a vehicle. The chariot was the vehicle, right? That's how we got around. So it said that the Lord makes the clouds his vehicle, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. That's how they travel. On the wings of the wind, they travel by air. Okay. So these clouds are the chariots. And when we're talking about chariots, we're talking about IFOs. They're identifiable for us, right? The world says they're UFOs, the unidentified flying objects. I think they even changed the name of them now. They switch it up to something else. I forgot what they're calling them now. But nonetheless, we're seeing here that over in the Sinai Peninsula, in the Sinai Desert, they seen another chariot. Well, just like we had a cloud by day, fire by night, same thing happened, and these troops seen it, and they were told, shut up. Don't speak on it. They said their superiors told them to keep quiet about what they saw in December 2014. Sergeant Travis Bingham, E4 Specialist Vishal Singh, and Private First Class Dovell Ingram were all stationed near the south end of the border. They saw 8 bright objects hovering and zipping across the sky at incredible speeds. The trio are all trained in identifying aircraft, and they believe the objects they witnessed were of non-human origin. I was scared ishless, admitted Ingram. I mean, there's a lot going on the earth, man. A lot going on. Look at this. The truth is out there. UFOs disabled nukes at my top secret base. I will testify before Congress because the Pentagon is covering it up. This is the former Air Force officer, man. He said he witnessed 10 nukes go offline as soon as he's seen a chariot. That shows you, man, the vanity of the so-called white man. To think that he has the ability to fight against the Lord. Arrogancy, man, the foolishness. You don't stand a chance in hell. Slim and none, and Slim is out of town, as Don King would say. You got a chance between Slim and none, and Slim is out of town. These chariots are disabling nukes, man. Look, a former Air Force official, or like officers, who claims UFO disabled nukes at a weapons base has accused the Pentagon of a cover up and wants to tell Congress the truth. Robert Salas, who insists he witnessed 10 nukes being taken offline, said he was shocked that the U.S. military officials hadn't investigated. He was speaking after Ray Bray, the deputy director of Navy intelligence, admitted the unidentified aerial phenomenon. That's what they call them now, not UFOs anymore. They're unidentified aerial phenomena. Task force has not looked into what happened. Congress has been holding a public hearing on UFOs, or UAPs, as they are also known, with the key witness including Bray and Ronald Moultrie, Undersecretary of Defense and Intelligence, giving their testimony. So you see the power of the Lord, man. White man, that's his most powerful weapon is a nuke. And just like that, they can take them offline, man, disable them, and it's over with. White man is finished. That's our power. That's who stands behind us. As we sit back and wonder, man, how are we gonna fight? How's a white man gonna come down, man? How we gonna? You just see it. The scripture said, man, when we right, man, it said one's gonna chase 1,000. When we're right, we've got a 200 million league of angels, fully equipped with whatever power necessary to disable and destroy the so-called white man, America's regime and rule, and the nations at their disposal. Whenever. Snap of a finger. Thanos snap. And it's a wrap. All they're waiting for is for us to get our act together. That just shows you, man, the power. 10 at once. Boom. Done. They can't even use them. Oh, just in case y'all was wondering, you can read it. I'm not going to speak on it because you know what happens. I'm still maintaining that we ain't over, and there'll be some new things to look forward to after the primaries, maybe in the winter, maybe a little sooner. Who knows? But stay tuned. Especially now that you got the new pox outbreak happening, and the FDA just got approval for their new potion, right? So there you go. How polyamorous people are marking commitment to multiple partners. Why'd I bring this up, man? To go back into Matthew again. Said like the days of Noah, right? And here's verse 38, 24-38. So it said, we seen violence and corruption covering the earth. It says, but as the days of Noah, Matthew 24-37, but as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Verse 38, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. So going along with this, look at this. Polyamorous people are marking commitment to multiple partners, marrying and giving into marriage. This is some wild, foolish, confused, abominable, who knows? I mean, it's hard to even quantify all of this madness, right? Let me just read this real quick. Sarah Berlinski, a 34-year-old working in higher education in Ithaca, New York, is legally married to 36-year-old farm manager Brandon Berlinski. 2 years ago, on a camping trip a decade into their relationship, they met 35-year-old Matt Namer, the founder of a real estate firm. All three of them fell in love. Did you hear that? See, when you're dealing with this polyamorous, poly lifestyle madness, you're talking about a married man and woman Another man comes into play. Now, all three of them are in a relationship. So let's say this: the two men, they can go out on a date, come home, have sex, whatever. The wife stays home. Oh, now the wife, she can pick whichever husband she wants to go out with. They go out, have fun, go on their date, come home, have sex. Who knows? All three of them getting together, doing their thing. So you're talking about sodomite husbands marrying sodomite. I mean, I can't even figure it out. Okay, the Berlinskis and Namer are polyamorous, which means they are open to romantic relationships with more than one person at a time. So is not only is that just outright um, possible adultery, fornication, no doubt, right? But this delves into the realms of sodomy as well, because these people are dating the same sexes as well. Just like here, they're talking about all three of them fell in love. So you got two men and a woman in the same relationship, and they're all in love with each other. That means that the husband and this other new guy, Matt, are in love too. Okay. After meeting 2 years ago, they started going on dates together as soon as Namer moved in with the Berlinskis. Now the three plan to have a child. Now they're going to bring a child into this confusion, and they want to make their relationship official so they can be recognized by the community as a family. But how do you think a relationship official when there are three people in it? Polyamory is a form of consensual non monogamy when people have more than one sexual or romantic partner at once, with all partners' permission. It says 1 in 9 people are engaged in this. But marrying and giving into marriage, man, this is all folly and foolishness, man. And you notice they got the brown and the black hands all in there, man, intertwined with the damn white hand. What's that telling you? More seductive ways in trying to lure our people into sexual immoralities and all of that. I mean, this is madness. More than 100,000 people are officially missing in Mexico, but there's no humanitarian crisis going on. Oh, the only humanitarian crisis going on is over there in Ukraine. That's where everybody should be focusing their prayers at. That's where everybody should be sending their money. That's what if you want to volunteer to go fight and go liberate some people, man, go to Ukraine. Isn't that what we're being told? And we're forgetting about a whole war going on south of the border, man. Wondering why people are running and trying to escape and find a place of refuge and safety. 100,000 people. I remember the number back, I think it's 2016. There was like 60,000 people dead from the cartel wars. And that was over like a 10-year period between, I think, 2006 and 2016. Now this number is up to 100,000 people are officially missing. It's pretty much safe to say they're dead. But no, there's no outcry, no outrage. Why? It's just Mexicans killing Mexicans, man. Whatever. Who cares? Oh, it's just the Salvadorians, Guatemalans getting killed by Mexicans. So what? You know, that's America's platform. That's how they stand on it. It is what it is. Keep them out. Keep them over there, man. Build a wall. Restrict the borders. You know. But as soon as some good old white folks come from the Ukraine, man, open up the red, lay out the red carpet, man. Open up the doors for them. Give them charter jets so they can fly from Europe all the way over here. They're going through a humanitarian crisis over there. But ain't nothing going on below the border though, huh? Okay. More than 100,000 people are now listed as missing in violence-racked Mexico, a grim milestone that the United Nations rights chief on Tuesday called a tragedy of enormous proportions. But they ain't gonna do nothing about it. Rights group appealed for urgent action to tackle disappearances that have skyrocketed during years of spiraling drug-related violence. The National Registry of Missing Persons, which has been tracking disappearances since 1964, said that as of Monday, the whereabouts of 100,099 people were unknown. About 75% were men. The movement of our disappeared warned that figure has certainly well below the number. Well below. It's below. That's a low number, 100,000 of actual cases, calling for the government to deal with the crisis in a comprehensive and immediate manner. They ain't doing that. But just want to pull that out. to show the hypocrisy and the foolishness, man, and also to show that if our people don't realize, man, the white man only cares about himself and his own. They ain't caring about what's going on in our neck of the woods. Down in Florida, financial autopsies on failed insurance companies and people who read them. They're having an issue down there, man, where the home insurance companies are folding, and what's that meaning is that they're monopolizing where people can get their insurance from, which is raising up the rates of insurance, man. It's causing people to have more expenditures, um, and to be able to maintain their properties in certain areas of Florida. So what ends up happening is that, let's say you want to get some work done on your house, you're dealing with hurricanes down there, storms, and all kind of madness. Your insurance company don't cover it no more. The new one says it's limited insurance coverage. You know, this is all part of like the Agenda 2030, man. Your private property rights and their ability to seize and take your homes from you. Oh, your home isn't up to code. Oh, your insurance doesn't cover. Oh, guess what? We're going to have to go ahead and shut you down and take that from you. Or let's just say they raise up the property taxes to where you can't afford to stay there no more. I was going back to the bank. They know what they're doing, man. They're trying to collapse and take every damn thing. So, this is one scenario in Florida. I wouldn't be surprised if more of them start popping up around the world. I mean, around the country. That home insurance companies, man, start defaulting and it ain't covering people homes no more. And you got to go to different companies, man. That's way more expensive. It's gonna make it hard to live in the midst of a food shortage, in the midst of gas, prices, in the midst of rolling blackouts and power shortages and everything else. Par for the course of what's going on in these last days, y'all. Good old Wells Fargo, man. If any of y'all got Wells Fargo accounts, man, you better get the hell away from them people. Wells Fargo is accused of scheduling fake job interviews with black applicants for roles that have already been promised to other candidates to boost its diversity statistics. Didn't they just do this with the black coach um, in football? What's the brother's name? Flores, Brian Flores. Uh, he went to go get a job, try to apply for a job with the New York Giants, and he thought he got the job. He got a text message from the coach of the Bills saying, "Oh, congratulations, you're their guy." But he messed up and texted the wrong Brian, and that's when Jake realized, "Hey, this is bogus, man." It's what they call in football. They call the Rooney Rule, where all the football teams have to interview minorities and women for diversity. So they're doing the same damn thing here. It's just paperwork. You're not being considered for the job. You go, you smile and put on your good your suit on and all that other stuff, man. You're showing your teeth. You're saying everything that you can. You done changed how you speak. You're talking white for the interview. Not knowing, man, they ain't even tripping off of you. They already know who they hiring. They already hiring that white folk. They got people already lined up, man. They cousins, they friends, all of that. Former Wells Fargo wealth management executive Joe Bruno, 58, claims he was fired after he blew the whistle to his bosses about the bank's fake interviews. Bruno says that he was instructed to conduct interviews with black candidates despite the fact that he or his superiors had already picked someone for that job. According to other employees, the interviews were a ploy to boost the bank's diversity efforts in anticipation of possible regulatory audits. The claim comes 2 years after CEO Charles Schwab after pledged to increase diversity among the murder of George Floyd. That ain't happened. The bank adopted a formal policy that required candidate be interviewed for any open positions that raked in over 100,000 a year. Let me just show you one last thing, man. Wells Fargo, they got a history of corruption, man. Look, SEC fines Wells Fargo. This was just yesterday. $7 million for anti-money laundering lapses. I remember covering this years ago. Wells Fargo banker guilty of helping launder drug cartel money. Yeah, see, that was 2008. I remember covering that when I was doing current events back then. Laundering money for the cartels. Now they get hit with a $7 million fine for anti-money laundering. So they wasn't following the regulations. They're doing fake interviews. They anti-black. They pro-drug. You know, Wells Fargo at it again, man. The big banks. Too big to fail. Isn't that what Obama said? The banks is too big to fail. You can't do no wrong. Can't do no wrong, huh? What's happening in this chat, man, before I get up out of here? Y'all all right? Is everybody good? We've been riding for a little while today. Hopefully everybody's well, man. Enjoying to see the Shabbat. And everybody's in good health. Let me see what I miss here. I don't know who that is talking about they riding with Stowe Biden. I'm not sure who that is. You might be in the wrong chat though. Look like everybody's all right, man. Been having some good interaction in the chat, man. All praises. Yeah, so that was Belichick. Yeah, for that job. He messed around and text the wrong damn thing. That's right, my sister. The water for the support, everybody, man. And hopefully everybody did do your due diligence, man, and wipe your feet for your brother, man. I'm out here sweating like a slave, man, trying to, bring the information and bring some knowledge and bring some things of importance to my people. All you could do is just give me a little high five and wipe your feet. Click that button, man. It'll be all right. Nobody's gonna condemn you, man. Esau's not gonna come track you down and say, "Did you like his video? We're gonna take your page from you." Oops. Oop, my bad, y'all. We're gonna take your page. It's all right. Maybe take a little stripe for the Lord if that is the case. All right, but you're gonna be okay. All you gotta do is hit that like button, man. You know what I mean? Wipe your feet, and everything will be solid. All right. But other than that, man, hopefully everybody's well, man. I'm gonna go ahead and log off and get to the rest of my Shabbat. And Lord willing, man, everybody stays focused, stay diligent, stay locked into the spirit, man. Fearing the Most High, keeping the commandments. Don't ever shoot your messenger. Do that for me. Don't do that. Right? Tribe of Judah, appreciate you. All right? Appreciate you. Shalom. Hey, David Ben Israel, man. All praise to the Most High, man. Glad to be back, man. Good to see you, my brother. All right, daughters and sons of Israel, man. Kings and queens, princesses and princesses. I'm out of here, man. Y'all be well, Lord willing. I'll be back again with another episode. We're back to 111, Lord willing. All right. Enjoy the rest of your Shabbat, man. Messengers of the Covenant and how they will be having a closing Shabbat class, man, in a few more hours. Around like 4:15 Pacific time. If you got some time you want to check in, support them, the lesson as well. Please do so. Please do so. All right. Other than that, man, y'all be well. I'm out of here. Shalom.